Right now, we're going to pit the Mi 11 Lite versus the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So both of these phones are really light, and on their respective category, they are both performer. And right now, we're going to check who's the better phone. Is it this one or this one? Now, checking the processor, both of them has exactly the same chip. A Snapdragon 732, which is a 8 nanometer chip, together with the Adreno 618. Both are just 4G capable up to LTE. Both has almost the same configuration. Both sports the 6 gig of RAM, 64 gig of capacity. Both has 6 gig of RAM, 128 gigs of capacity. And both also has the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs configuration. And all of them, both are UFS 2.2 ready. And both can sport micro SD card, except that this one, the Mi 11 Lite, is a hybrid. This one is a dedicated micro SD slot, which means you can use both nano SIM and of course one micro SD. And right now we can try to see its camera bump. Definitely the camera bump on the Mi 11 Lite is definitely a lot thinner, more sexier compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And underneath, we can see that both is USB Type-C ready, stereo speaker surround ready, and of course, we have the microphone in. On the side, we can see that both has the rounded side fingerprint scanner, the IR and the volume rocker. On top, we have IR, and of course, micro noise cancellation mic. Then this one, loudspeaker. The Mi 11 Lite has the loudspeaker on its earpiece of I rather, and this one having it here. The only downside that I see is that the Mi 11 Lite doesn't have the audio jack. And on the other side, we can see that for the Redmi Note 10 Pro, it has the SIM tray. This one is pretty clean. Now, moving on to the main screen, we can see the punch hole placement is not the same. This one having a center punch hole camera, while the other one has the upper left punch hole camera. But the Redmi Note 10 Pro has the smaller punch hole compared to the Mi 11 Lite. Now, putting both phones on the table lying flat, you can see that this one can wobble. This one is very stable. It cannot wobble. This one is very wobbly. So right now we'll be booting up together both of these phones. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So we can see that this one's shown the Mi logo a little bit faster than the Redmi counterpart. Both has the same chip. So let's see who's faster to load MIUI 12. So this one has already started. And we have a winner here. The Mi 11 Lite boot up faster compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So right now it's for me to test the fingerprint scanner. Let's see who's faster. So in 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. And in 3, 2, 1, go. So almost the same speed. Neither was faster. And we can see that on the screen display, both is good because both has an AMOLED display. So right now we'll try to open some apps and see who's faster. But before that, let's clear out everything to see who's really faster. So let's try to open the dialer. 1, 3, 2, 1, go. So this one was a fraction faster. Let's try to open YouTube. And 3, 2, 1, go. Almost the same speed. Let's try another one. So let's try to open these settings. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I can conclude that both was exactly the same speed. Both has MIUI 12.0, and of course also running at Android 11. So both you can see here are running at Android 11. And taking a quick look at both screen, we can see that, and I can really tell you that this one, the screen on this one is definitely wider than the other one. Both are having their maximum brightness display, and probably the screen on the Mi 11 was a little bit more premium as compared to this one. Now let's check the specs of the screen. The Mi 11 Lite has a 6.55 AMOLED display, 90 Hz of screen refresh rate, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, 1080p, while on the other one it has a 6.67 AMOLED display, 1080p, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, and 120 Hz of screen refresh rate. Definitely on the refresh rate category, this one is better. But I can say that both phones has very, very nice display. Both are AMOLED. The black is blacker and more punchier. Really, I can say it's really, really nice. Now, checking the camera modules on this both phone, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has the 108MP aperture 1.9 main sensor, 8MP ultra-wide lens, 5MP macro lens, and 2MP depth sensor. Together, it has a 16MP front shooter. On the other hand, the Mi 11 Lite, it has a 64MP main sensor together with an 8MP ultra-wide lens, 5MP macro lens together up front, a 16MP main shooter. So right now, checking up front, we can say that the resolution of the front camera, I can say that the Mi 11 Lite capture a more realistic, the color is better as compared to that of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. I can say that, well, the picture on this one is a lot refreshing compared to that one. And of course, taking bokeh shots, this one, the Mi 11 Lite is definitely looking a lot better. Now, we want to see some videos out here. And I can say that both are good, except that the rendering on the Mi 11 Lite is slightly better compared to that of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Looking at the selfie video, I can say that shaking my head, the Redmi Note 10 is having a little bit hard time adjusting to the lightings. Of course, it's kind of having a hard time adapting to the lights, but on the Mi 11, it's very, very smooth. And definitely, I can say this one should have a better front-facing video camera. Now, taking some outdoor shots, I can say that the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a little bit more definition, but on the color resolution, I can say that the Mi 11 Lite probably displayed it better, if you ask me. So right now, let's try gaming on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. We can see that on graphics quality, we can set it to very high, but we have to lower it on the frame rate. But once we put the frame rate up to the maximum, we need to lower a little bit of our graphics quality. So I want to have a high graphics quality, but the best frame rate possible. So that's the settings I'm going to use right now here on this gameplay. So right now, let's try to get onto a game here using the Redmi Note 10 Pro.
Friendly Predator missile inbound. Hostile hunter killer drone inbound. Heads up team. Enemy UAV spotted. UAV online. Friendly hunter killer drone deployed. Enemy
So we can see the gaming on the Redmi Note 10 Pro is good, given it has the AMOLED display. It's good, 120 Hertz, it's good. But of course, the Snapdragon 732G is still, well, not too much of a super gaming phone. But I can say it's average. You can get a good gaming experience here. Plus the stereo surround sound is good. I'm really happy. The experience on this phone is definitely nice. But of course, when you're playing on Snapdragon 860, 870 would definitely be a better option when it comes to gaming. So we can see the settings on the Mi 11 Lite 4G is exactly the same as that of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. We can set the graphics quality to high, then combine with a max frame rate, or we can do it the other way around. Very high graphics settings, then very high frame rate. So we'll go with the high settings and a max frame rate to test it out side by side, of course, comparing to the Redmi Note 10 Pro.
Hardpoint is ours. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint locked down. Enemy airstrike incoming. Careful. Hardpoint is ours. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint contested. Predator missile inbound.
Flashbang!
Hardpoint identified. Be advised. Hostile care package inbound.
Target's in sight.
Be advised. Hostile hunter killer drone inbound. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Engage!
Enemy shock RC is coming. Bring it up, squad. Care package inbound.
So we can see the gameplay on the Mi 11 Lite 4G is almost the same as that from the Redmi Note 10 Pro, given that it has an AMOLED display, though the refresh rate is just a little bit lower compared to that of the Redmi Note 10, but nevertheless, I can say the processor is the same, the gameplay is the same, only that I have a little bit smaller screen as compared to that of the Note 10 Pro. This one has a 6.55-inch screen. That one has a 6.67-inch screen. That probably spelled the difference. That one I have a bigger view. This one just a little bit smaller, but overall the gameplay, I can say that I have to give it to the Redmi Note 10 Pro, having a better refresh rate, having a little bit better sound as compared to this one. Now both of this phone has Bluetooth 5.1 ready, NFC ready, as well as Fingerprint Scanner. Both are on the side. And of course, the Mi 11 Lite has a slightly smaller battery. Well, 4,250 mAh of battery, but it still supports up to 33 watts of fast charging on this one. The Redmi Note 10 Pro, it has a bigger battery at 5,020 mAh battery, and of course, fast charging up to 33 watts, and both are elegant in their own way. This one having a 3D curved glass back, this one having a flat glass back. So which is your choice?